Takže ahoj, ja som Karol Danko a prepínam sa do angličtiny. So, hi, my name is Karol Danko and I'm here today to tell you something about NPM and tools you should know about. Now, something I'm okay. Good. Now, what do? I work for Lightsport. We have live sports results and everything around sports statistics and everything. And what I do, I lead our internal API team, which works with Node.js and JavaScript and all the things around. So we work with NPM kind of often. Now, what's the goal of this talk? I want to tell you something about the tools I think they're interesting. Now, the NPM ecosystem is huge. We have a lot of tools, a lot of options how to use them. So I will just pick some of them. I cannot show you everything. And also, of those tools, I will just show a few features that you can use right away, that you can utilize in your projects right away. Now, I'm having problems with rendering. Now, what will I do? I will talk about NPM basics just real fast. Then we'll go through DevTools. Then we'll talk about security real fast, then quality of the packages, and then we'll go into Yarn, which is a new kid on the block. Now, NPM has a nice mascot that's Wombat. Yeah, it doesn't have a translation, slow auto check, so this is Wombat, NPM. Now, who works with NPM daily from here? Okay, I'll ask you the other way. Who doesn't know what NPM is? Okay, one person. Okay, private lesson afterwards. Okay, so I'll skip some basics, not too worried about that. Now, I want to talk about December for a second. Semantic versioning. I know we all use it. We all probably know what it is. I will just build on top of it in my next slide, so I just want to stop and tell what it is. Now, semantic versioning, who doesn't know what it is? Okay, so I'll just say, you have 3 numbers, which tells you which version of the software you're using. The last one shows you it's like only a small change in the software. The first one tells you it's a huge change in your software. Like when you go from right to left, it tells you how possible it is for the update to break your code. For example, if you're upgrading for major version 1 to 2, it's possible that your code will break. If you're upgrading minor version, it's possible that your code will not break. Now, why am I saying this? There are several ways how to install NPM packages and how to tell which versions to install. Now, these are all valid Semver ranges. They tell like the Semver range, Semver that you want to install some of the versions. Now, first tool I want to display today is semver.npmjs.com. It's just a handy tool how to evaluate your Semver range and how to tell which packages fit that range. Here I'm showing a package of React, and when I enter range 15.x, I can see that it fits 15.0, 15.1, and so on. Interesting thing, the Semver ranges never fit alpha and release candidates. You need to specify this by hand. Let's move on. Let's move to developer tools. Now, first I want to tell that NPM by itself has a lot of tools which can help you with NPM work and actually day-to-day work with NPM. A lot of you, if you work with NPM daily, you will probably know it, but it's good to just stop and and to repeat how to use them instead. Now, of course, I'll skip NPM install, and so I'll go to NPM outdated. Now, who of you is actually using NPM outdated? Okay, I see 5 people. So it's good that I pointed it out. NPM outdated shows you which packages of NPM are outdated, as the name states. It shows you what version do you have, what version is actually the wanted, which the latest version fits your December range, and also the latest. The wanted and latest does not need to be the same, because you can specify your December range. Now, next tool is NPM shrink wrap. Who uses NPM shrink wrap? I think the same amount of people that NPM outdated. Now, who of you has gotten into a situation that you have one version of the package and your colleague has totally different version of the package? Who of you? Okay, I think those who use actually the NPM shrink wrap. So, what the NPM shrink wrap is, it locks your dependencies. For example, if you specify that you want React 15.x, it means anything 15.anything. So, if I install the package yesterday, I have the 15.0.8. If somebody else, or for example my deploy server, installs it today, it has a different version, and that can actually break my code. And we don't want this. That's why we use NPM shrink wrap. NPM shrink wrap takes your PragueJS and generates NPM shrink wrap.js. Now, you can see the differences here. On the left, we have some module. That's not important now. But we have the December o.x. Now, that can be any number of versions. Now, the shrink wrap has the exact version which was latest at the moment. So, we have 0.7.0. So, with NPM shrink wrap, the entire team works with the same version, set. And this becomes more important when you have a lot of dependencies, when you have hundreds of packages, or tens even, to work on the same code set. Now, this is something that is maybe known, maybe not, but this is a less known feature of NPM. That you can install packages directly from GitHub, or from any Git repository. So this is really useful when you want to install something from your private repo, or just install something that doesn't have an NPM package. You don't have the advantage of December. You don't have any advantages that come with it, but this is possible. Did anybody try it here? I think the same people that use NPM shrink wrap use also this. Now, when you use NPM, like NPM install, you have this package and this package, and you have a lot of packages. Your code can end like this. Like your code is this tiny ball with a lot of huge node modules. Now, if you use Webpack or if you use other modules, that can be hundreds of megabytes. Now, what to do with it? There's a handy tool called DepCheck. It's not an NPM. You can install it from NPM. And what it does, it checks your requires and includes in your code and tells you which modules you're actually using. All the slides will be actually available, so you don't need to take pictures now. It will make everything available. So this is a handy tool how to say, like, I'm using this, I'm not using this. Yeah, let's get rid of it. Let's keep our code clean. Now, when our packages get huge, also our installs get huge. Like when you use npm update or npm install or so, when you need to download hundreds of megabytes from npm servers, it just takes a while. If you do this when you're deploying it, it takes a while. I think npm does have some CDNs here in Europe. I think 3. I think London, Amsterdam, and so. But it's still far away from your data center. Now, the solution is to use npm private or npm proxy server, let's say. You could use npm enterprise, which offers this. They offer an on-site npm repository, or you can use something that's free, open source, like npm register. Now there are more tools like this, as I said. There are a lot of packages that do the same, and this is just one of the options. And if you're using npm heavily, I really recommend this. This really speeded up our installs and how we work with NPM actually. Now let's move on to security. Now I'll ask, who here is a programmer? Okay. I think almost everybody. And who thinks that your responsibility is to think about security? Really good. Yeah, that's awesome. Now, security is something that we need to think about. And when you have NPM packages, NPM modules, it's really easy to include some unsafe or insecure package into your code. Now, I will now show you two tools that can check these packages for you, and you can easily include them in your CI or in your workflow, basically. Now, when I talk about security, I'm not sure if this is visible. This is a screenshot of one of the tools I'm going to talk about, SNCC. That's a security consultancy company that has a vulnerability database, freely available. And I took a screenshot of cross-site scripting vulnerability in jQuery UI. This is just to show that vulnerabilities are everywhere, basically. Also, when you're not working with Node.js, if you're using NPM only for a front end, for example, there are vulnerabilities everywhere, also in highly maintained packages. Now, I don't want to say that people writing those packages want to introduce those vulnerabilities. They don't want to. They're just not writing the packages in security in mind. Now, two tools that I will show you today, they both do the same thing. They both have vulnerability databases, and they just take your package.json and analyze it. Analyze your semi versions and analyze your dependencies and tell you which of them are insecure. Now, both of them have GitHub integration. I will not go into details. They can check your files, they can provide pull requests and so on. I will get into command line tools a bit later. They also provide vulnerabilities warnings. Like they have your package.json and they can tell you, oh, watch out, now there's a new risk in your code, update now, which is really awesome. Now I will get into command line tools, just to show you how easy it is to implement and how easy it is to get into your code. Now this is a tool called Node Security. They have a vulnerability database online, which you can check manually. We don't like manual labor, of course. Now you can install this handy tool. It's called NSP. It's directly from them. Just install it, run NSP check, and it will check your dependencies, whether they are secure or not. Well, this is the best case that there are no vulnerabilities. If there were any, they will also tell you what to do with it. So watch out, upgrade this to some version, or stop using this package because it's not maintained, and so on. Now the second tool is SNCC.io. It basically does the same thing, just a bit more complicated to authenticate and so on. Now, who of you uses one of these tools or something similar? Okay, I see 3 hands. Good. And it's good that I mentioned it. Now, just a quick recap about security tools. Let me come back. Now, I believe, and I think we can agree that security is a programmer's responsibility. We program our code to be good, to be fast, but sometimes we forget about security. But it's really our responsibility. But with tools like these, it's kind of easy to implement and easy to get it into your CI, into your workflow. So why not use it? It's easy. Now, let's talk about quality. Now, I talked about security. It's kind of easy to say whether the package is secure or not. That's just a Boolean value. It's true or false. It's secure, it's not. Now, how about quality? Quality is kind of much harder to say if the package is good, is bad. Is it maintained? Do devs actually care for the package? If I build on this package, will be there in 1 year when I want to upgrade or when I want to scale up. And will it actually break my bones when I scale up? Now, luckily there are tools to help us with it. I'll show you 2 tools today. There are a lot more. I'll just focus on these, and that's npm-io and node compare com. They both do the same thing, just a bit different. Anybody of you heard of the 2 tools? Good. So then I'll go into the details. I saw 2 hands there. So npm-io, it does all these things for you. It evaluates the package based on quality, based on popularity, and based on maintenance. And it puts all these metrics into one final score. Now, how they use these metrics and what's their, how they say if this package is popular or so, they all have it on their website, their methodology. For example, the quality of the package can be if they have tests, if they have linters configured, what's their code coverage, and so on. Those parameters are there. Now, how does it look? This is npm search for React. Here you can see, this is just a pop-up from level 1. It says quality 87%, popularity 76, and maintenance 100. And the overall score is something blobby. So let's say 80%. So you can say that if you're using React, using React Router is safe to use in long term. Now, npms also shows vulnerabilities from Node Security IO. So this is a really handy tool to use. The other tool I'd like to mention, yes?
So npms is already integrated into npmjs.com search. So if you search on npmjs.com, it will show you 3 ways how to show the results, sorted either by total score or by most accurate fit or by maintainable field.
Good.
They integrated together in December last year.
Good, that's really good news. Did everybody hear? I'll just repeat that npm.js got, npms already shows in npm.js results. Good. That's really good news, I didn't know that. Good. npmcompare.com is another tool and shows you the same thing. It shows, it can compare more packages. Like in npm, there's a lot of packages, so a lot of packages do the same thing. Now it's kind of hard to choose which one do you use. So npmcompare.com just compares a lot of them. Now, here I have a screenshot of comparing 4 packages. They all do basically the same thing. They do Chrome and Node.js. Now, there are a lot of parameters which I just deleted because I couldn't fit it into one screenshot. But you can see it also has an overall points. It has information whether it has Wikipedia, how many forks does it have, how many subscribers, and so on. So this is also a really handy tool to use. Now, we talked about why quality is important. Now, we just need to tell that maintaining quality is not as easy as maintaining security. Now, everything you can automate is awesome, but quality is not easy to automate. Now, I just want to say that choosing the right module or the right package will definitely save you time in the long term. It's not easy, but it's worth it. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is Yarn. Who of you is already using Yarn? I did not expect it actually. Do you use it like experimentally or like in production or like every day? Okay, who uses every day? And who has just experimented with it? Good. Okay, then we can get together and get more information about Yarn much more accurately. Now, I talked about that Yarn is just Nuke on Block, published on 11th of October 2016. That's not even a half a year. It was built by Facebook, and they targeted the main problems they had with NPM. So that was speed, that was log file, and that was some other things. Now, Yarn is in very active development. I would say much more active than NPM. and they really go fast. Now, how you can use NPM Yarn? How you can use Yarn is just to install via NPM. Maybe this will turn out to be, you go to Internet Explorer to download Chrome. Maybe this will be the same thing. We don't know yet. Now, I've just experimented with Yarn lightly. I will tell you why in a second. Let's just talk about why Yarn is different. How I see it, Yarn has a log file as a default. We talked about NPM shrink wrap. That's basically the same thing. The main difference is that Yarn does it as a default. Yeah, we programmers, we are lazy. And I think that lazy programmer is the best because he finds better way how to do things. And if you're lazy, you often forgot about NPM shrink wrap. Now, offline cache is default. One of the problems Facebook had with NPM was the speed. They had CI machines that were installing NPM module, and that was really slow. So what they introduced is offline cache. Now, you can do offline cache also in NPM, but it's not as default. What's really awesome about Yarn is parallel download and parallel install. Now, if you have a lot of dependencies, what NPM does, it downloads it one by one. Now that takes a long time. What Yarn does, it just makes a pool of parallel threads and it downloads it much faster. Sometimes a few times faster than NPM. And what I really like about Yarn, it just has nicer outputs. It's less verbose, it just tells you what you need to do. When you install NPM package, it just throws at you like pages and pages of just some code that you just don't need to see. And Yarn is really nice with this. Now, the only concern I have with Yarn, now it's in version 0.20. In JavaScript world and in Node.js world per se, 0 point means unstable. So when I build a project or when I want to build my stuff, I want to build on something stable. I want to build on something that doesn't change in a few months. So this is why I've only experimented with Yarn and didn't use it full scale in all my projects. Now, should you use Yarn instead of NPM? Well, that I don't know. That's something for you to decide. If you're in the mood to experiment, well, go ahead. If you're okay with the NPM workflow you have right now, just stay with NPM. I think the advantages that Yarn brings are good, but are not groundbreaking. Now, this is all from me. So this is the only slide that I did not translate. So here are this is the moment for your questions.